mga pananaw at opinyon ng pag-uulat ng mag-uulat sa programang ito ay hindi ang pangunahing posisyon o pahayag ng pamumunuan ng organisasyong ito. The views and opinions expressed in this live report are those of the presenter and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of the management of this organization. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Editorial. Today is Monday, March 21, 2022. I am your host, Carlos Miguel Kanahashi. Together with me is Sir Mark Betita as my technical assistant. And we're broadcasting simultaneously on InkluRadio Facebook page and to be viewed on the next day on the Hands in Inclusion Philippines YouTube channel. We shall commence our presentation in just a moment. We will be back after our commercials. Now this.
Para sa aking pamilya, para sa aking kapwa, at para sa bayan. Kahit mahirap, kahit masakit, mahal ko kayong lahat. Kahit anong mangyari, ikaw, ako, tayo. Ating isisigaw sa mundo. Inklusibong may tatak, angat buhay itatahak. Matapang pa rin tayo. Ang tropa, hindi nang iiwan. Ang senyas, isang instrumento. Ilang beses matumba, tayo'y huling bababa. Luman ang ating pinagdalihan. Tayo ay muling liliwan. Para sa pangarap, para sa pamilya, at para sa bayan. Tayo ang ida. Tuloy ang inclusion.
Welcome back to our editorial episode for this day. This afternoon, as we celebrate World Down Syndrome Day, let us get to know who are the famous people with Down syndrome. So, without further ado, here now is our topic famous people with Down syndrome. Sir Mark, can you enable the share screen, please, in our presentation? Please, thank you. Okay. Okay, so before we get to know about the famous people with Down syndrome, let us have a review of what Down syndrome is. Down syndrome is a genetic disorder that is caused by the presence of all or part of a third copy of chromosome 21. It is typically associated with physical growth delays, characteristic facial features, and mild to moderate intellectual disability. The average IQ of a young adult with Down syndrome is 50, equivalent to the mental age of an 8 or 9-year-old child, but this number varies widely. Down syndrome is the most common chromosome abnormality in humans, occurring in about 1 per 1,000 babies born each year. Let us now have the time to get to know our famous people with Down syndrome, ladies and gentlemen. Next slide, please. So, Here is our first famous people, Pablo Pineda. He is a Spanish actor with Down syndrome. He starred in the film Yo También, and the first student with Down syndrome in Europe to obtain a degree. Next slide, please. We have Lauren Potter, an American actress who starred as Becky Jackson on Glee, a TV show on Fox. Next slide, please. Madeline Stewart is an Australian model with Down syndrome. She has appeared in the New York Fashion Week catwalk. She has also walked in Paris Fashion Week, London Fashion Week, Runway Dubai, Russian Fashion Week, Mercedes-Benz Fashion Week China, and many more events. Next slide, please. Tommy Jessop is a British actor who starred in Coming Down the Mountain and with Blue Apple Theatre. Next slide, please. Brina K. Maximo is a Filipina with Down syndrome who has overcome her condition's challenges and is also a teacher. She was diagnosed with Down syndrome when she was 9 years old, and her doctor told her parents that she may not live long. Next slide, please. We have Colette DeVito, who founded Colette's Cookies in Boston, America. Next slide, please. We also have Isabella Tejada. She is a Guatemalan fashion designer. She's noted for reportedly being the first fashion designer to have Down syndrome. Her designs were showcased at the International Fashion Showcase segment of London Fashion Week 2016, and she was voted one of the BBC 100 Women in 2016. Next slide, please. Sunjit Desai is a musician from Buffalo, New York, USA, who graduated from high school with a 4.3 GPA before graduating from Berkshire Hills Music Academy for 2 years later. He played seven instruments: piano, violin, drums, bass clarinet, trumpets, and saxophone. Two documentaries have been made about his accomplishments. He featured in The View 2020, The Oprah Winfrey Show, as well as in the headlines in New York Times and Wall Street Journal. His greatest achievement so far was his 2015 performance in Carnegie Hall in the US, which he received a standing ovation. Next slide, please. Angela Bachelor kicked off her political career in 2011. She began working at the City Hall in Valladolid, Spain. She's a member of the political party named People's Party. She spent over 2 years working as an administrative assistant in Valladolid City Hall before she ran for elections in 2011. She did not win in a seat in that election. She placed 18 for 17 available posts. She assumed office 2 years later when a corruption scandal forced Jesus Galvan to step down as the chief executive of the city of Valladolid in Spain. Next slide, please. Jamie Brewer is an actor that many of you will recognize from her prominent and recurring roles in the series entitled American Horror Series or American Horror Story. She worked in theater for over a decade. She skyrocketed to international fame when she made her TV debut portraying Addie Langdon in the pilot of a hit horror show and has been a regular fixture ever since. Next slide, please. We have Martha Wexelsen Goxoyer is a public speaker and a disability activist. She's also well known for her work as a writer and a playwright. Her most famous work is her interpretation of Cinderella, which is based on her own life, performed in the prestigious theater in Norway, Oslo, the capital of Norway, and features live music from Hello Goodbye. Next slide, please. We have Judith Scott. She has been exactly the kind of childhood you would expect from someone who become a world-renowned artist. Judith's parents chose not to acknowledge her condition, which was compounded by the fact that she had gone deaf, unbeknownst to anyone in her life. At 7 years old, Joyce, Judith's twin sister, woke up to find Judith has been taken to a care home, where her undiagnosed deafness meant she failed to qualify for any sort of classes at all. Next slide, please. It's no secret that people with Down syndrome are not always fully embraced by society. Even with the wealthiest, most advanced parts of the world, prejudice of this kind continues to persist and does not appear to be going anywhere anytime soon. Okay, okay. So, okay. Today, ladies and gentlemen, we celebrate World Down Syndrome Day. This is a day to celebrate persons with Down syndrome and to spread a global message of empowerment. So, do you know that the World Down Syndrome Day is celebrated on the 21st day of March in order to represent the uniqueness of the trisomy of the 21st chromosome which causes Down syndrome? Now you do, ladies and gentlemen. So, if you want to check out World Down Syndrome Day, you may visit the website worlddownsyndromeday.org. So, together we can empower people throughout the world to advocate for full inclusion in society for people with Down syndrome and for everyone. Down syndrome is naturally occurring chromosomal arrangement that has always been a part of the human condition. So, every year, we encourage people with Down syndrome, families, advocates, professionals, and organizations to observe World Down Syndrome Day with their activities. So, each year, the voice of people with Down syndrome and those who live and work with them grows louder. And that's why we celebrate today World Down Syndrome Day because, ladies and gentlemen, the reason why it was a global awareness day that has been observed by the United Nations member countries since 2012 is because it signifies the uniqueness of the triplication of the 21st chromosome which cause Down syndrome. So, happy World Down Syndrome Day. And on behalf of Hands in Inclusion Philippines, people with Down syndrome and those who live and work with them throughout the world plan to participate in activities and events on this day in order to promote public awareness and to form a single worldwide voice advocating for their rights, inclusion, and their well-being. So now we now conclude our topic for this day. Now let us have the time to move on to our next part of our show will be our election 2022 updates. It's Pulso 2022 and updates on the May 9, 2022 national elections. COMELEC to discuss this possible additional sanctions on 2022 bets who skipped the debates. COMELEC will discuss what further sanctions they can impose against candidates who skipped the presidential and vice presidential debates. one of its commissioners said Monday. According to COMELEC Commissioner George Garcia, he said, sa Miyerkules, pag-uusapan pa namin ano ang mga pwede natin maitupad na sanction na medyo mas mabigat na hindi naman nagbabiolate sa mga umiiral na batas natin at sa karapatan ng mga kandidato. He was reacting to the call of Partido Lakas ng Masa Vice Presidential candidate Walden Bello for the full body to penalize BBM and Sara Duterte. The unity tandem did not attend the debates during the weekend. While Garcia agrees imposing more sanctions against the debate skippers, no law is mandating candidates to attend COMELEC-related activities. He said, kung meron lang lamang po yung batas tapos may nagsasabi na kapag hindi ma-attend ang parusa, disqualification by election offense, maniwala po kayo sa amin. Hindi po tayo magdadalawang isip, ipapatupad po natin yan. For the next election, Garcia proposed that candidates should sign an agreement together with their certificates of candidacy that they would always participate in all the events of the Commission, including the debates. He said, kung ano man ang ipapatawag ng COMELEC, pa-meeting man yan, pa-debate man, they commit, they will abide and follow. They always participate in all the patawags of the COMELEC. Since the old body for now cannot force candidates to attend debates, Garcia called on the public to instead focus on who were present during the event. He said, sabi ko na po, bakit po kasi hinaharap yung wala? Mas maganda po ang appreciate natin yung andyan, yung present. Sana po mapag-nilay-nilayan natin yung binanggit nila, sinabi nila at yung mga plano at plataforma nila ay sa ating bansa. Yun po ang tutukan natin. During Sunday's vice presidential debate, Warden Bello lashed out at BBM and Sara Duterte for over their absence. According to Bello, he said, we're slashing one another for her benefit. The COMELEC should do something about this. Commissioner and Chair, can you analyze these people, BBM and Sara Duterte, for not showing themselves up to the Filipino people with their programs? They spit in the face of the Filipinos. Can you say something right now? Tell them to show up. I'm really so pissed off that these two jokers are not here. Luwag sila. We can't show their record. They have to show up that the Filipino people can judge. Otherwise, this is a toot big joke. The whole body's NLP or BBM and Sara Duterte's absence in the debate is to ban them from the e-rally platform, which value said is too weak. The camp of BBM, who appeared in select forums only, said he will not participate in debates that only intend to pit candidates against each other, claiming that the public is supposed to be tired of political mudslinging. Her sister, Amy, thinks that it's better for BBM to show up. The spokesman of BBM, Vic Rodriguez, said that the presidential aspirant will only attend public forums that allow sufficient time for candidates to explain their platforms and to answer their questions. In declaring her non-participation in any of the debates set for vice presidential candidates, Sara Duterte said that she's leaving it up to the voters to decide on her fate on May 9. Ito yung tutut murayan, ladies and gentlemen. Since I will not say it here in our podcast on public. Okay, so that now concludes our election 2022 updates. Next slide, please. Let us get to know our candidate for the May 9, 2022 elections. Our featured candidate for the day is, next slide, please, Melchor Chavez. He'll be running for senator this year. He graduated political science in Notre Dame College. He is a journalist and his goal is to push for land reform, freedom of information, and early retirement for workers as these are the main advocacies for him. So let's vote wisely this May for our election, and we hope to pray for a peaceful and a clean election. Next slide, please. Now is the time for our announcements. Next slide, please. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, As part of our continuing efforts to support our organization, Hands in Inclusion, and this is a part of a great big help to us here in this group. We urge everyone, or we encourage everyone, to purchase our our viewers watching to purchase our products in our Hands in Inclusion Philippines online shop. So the products that we are selling are the following: our One Inclusion Nation t-shirts and our One Inclusion Nation tote bags. For the One Inclusion Nation t-shirts, the price is only 275 pesos. It's available in red, black, blue, white, and yellow. For the Talano Gold Colored, it's available in limited stocks only. Sizes are ranged between small to large and prices are ranged between 225 to 350 pesos. For our One Inclusion Nation t-shirts, it's available in, or rather, our tote bags is available in white and black. Sizes are ranged between medium to large and prices are ranged between 150 to 200 pesos. So how can you order? We'll be very strict on payments. Payment first before purchase. We're accepting payments from GCash. We'll deliver your ordered products via our couriers, GoGo Express, and LBC. Next slide, please. The Hands in Inclusion Philippines online shop is temporarily closed for areas under Alert Level 5, but it will continue to serve in areas under Alert Level 1 to 4 only. So, if you want to buy, the operating hours are from 12 midnight to 11:59 p.m. only. For a full list of orders, please visit the Hansen Inclusion Philippines Facebook page or email us at hansen.inclusion@gmail.com. Next slide, please. So, as part of our continuing efforts to support our organization, we at Hansen Inclusion Philippines needs your help. To be honest, many of us are already been struggling with our financial problems in our organization. So regardless, no matter what, it doesn't really matter if the amount is smaller or larger. It will be appreciated for you guys to donate to Health and Inclusion Philippines. How? Through GCash on this QR code that is flashed on your screen. If you want to donate through the Barya para sa Inclusion Project, you may donate using a coin bank and you may donate through bank deposit at Union Bank. Ladies and gentlemen, there's a QR code for that for Union Bank. So if you want to do this, please do this now lang. Please lang. Please lang. So, what are you waiting for? Please continue to help and support Hansen Inclusion Philippines through our purchases in the merchandise and to donate through the Barya para sa Inclusion Project. Please help Hansen Inclusion Philippines for our fundraising project. We're aiming to raise funds in the organization. Let us have the time to rebuild in order for us to have a bigger, better, and a bolder Hansen Inclusion Philippines. The purpose of this is to have the financial aid of the members due to the effect of this pandemic. The formality of Hands and Inclusion Philippines is expenses and for the SEC registration of Hands and Inclusion Philippines in the future. So guys, for those who did this, give you gratitude and thank you for your continuous generosity and for your support to our organization in advance. Before we go on to our next slide, if you want to purchase accessories, then you may message um, this one to Elgene Accessories. You may message her through Facebook, Elgene Accessories, WhatsApp, or you may contact her at 0916-167-4803 or 0951-791-3194. Next slide, please. So, if you have problems with your computer, regardless if it's a laptop or a desktop, and if the operating system is Mac or Windows, or if you have problems with your tablet or phone, regardless if it's Android or iOS, then if you want to download music, games, or movies, Sir Mark Betita will be here to help you. So, how can you do this? How? You may contact on Mark PC Laptop Repair Services. Contact him at 0947-355-4759, or you may message him on Facebook, Mark Paolo Betita. Next slide, please. Okay, we have some events coming up for the month of March in Best Buddies Philippines. Today until the 25th is Inclusion Week with Best Buddies Benilde. There will be events during this Inclusion Week in Best Buddies Benilde. So for the events in the Inclusion Week in Best Buddies Benilde, uh, for today, sir, can you go back? You're so fast. Slow down, please. Thank you. So for the events, for March 21, today, Game Night Day 1, Mobile Legends. March 22, we have two events, Game Night Day 2, Scribble, and Let's Talk About Inclusion, Benildian Way Talk. March 23, Let's Talk Inclusion, Flourishing Mindfully Mental Health Talk, and Trivia Night. On March 24 is the webinar of Best Buddies Benil, CIE, or Center for Inclusive Education, Benil Student Envoys, and the Office of the Vice President for Lasallian Mission and Student Life, entitled Gender Inclusion and Safe Spaces, and The Talent Show. On March 25, we'll be culminating with End the R Word Talk and Be Included Concert. And on March 26 is Jolly Friendship Jams, wherein we'll be making a viral TikTok recipe. Custard toast with kamyas jam. Sana masarap yan. Yung isang viral TikTok recipe. Custard toast with kamyas jam. The ingredients na kailangan, tinapay, Greek yogurt, itlog, honey or maple syrup, and other fruit toppings or chocolate chips as well. And kamyas jam from Team Best Buddies Philippines. And the materials that will be used are mixing bowl, mixing bowl, whisk, spoon, toaster oven, air fryer or oven, pot holders, and serving plate. If you want to join for March 26 and also for the events in Inclusion Week in Best Buddies Benilde, but it's only for rather follow Best Buddies Philippines on Facebook and Instagram. Send them a message, and a registration form will be sent to you as well. Just a reminder, Best Buddies Philippines is a non-profit, non-denominational, and a non-political organization. We support for clean and fair election, and we do not endorse any political party or candidate. As members of the Best Buddies Philippines community, please refrain from endorsing a candidate during the activities of Best Buddies Philippines. In Best Buddies Philippines, make a friend, be a friend. Next slide, please. So, if you are hungry, especially for your breakfast, lunch, dinner, or your merienda, or any occasion, Sobra Comfort Food Restaurant and the Kuya Korea restaurants are here. If you want to order them from these two, I'll explain this to you one by one. For the Sobra Comfort Food Restaurant, our menus are, we have for our all-day breakfast, Tapa Sobra, chicken tocino, corned beef brisket, homemade spam, and beef salpicao. Sizes are ranged between solo to large and prices are ranged between 265 pesos to 1,450 pesos. Next slide, please. For our rice trays, we have beef bulgogi, beef shawarma, beef gyudon, pork wrapping bits, pork belly burnt ends, charred chicken, and boneless fried chicken. Sizes range between solo to large and prices range between 265 pesos to 1,700 pesos. Next slide, please. We also have for our sandwich, fried chicken sandwiches, pulled pro sandwich, corned beef sandwich, and chicken tocino sandwich. Sizes are ranged between solo, regular, large, and box of course. Prices are ranged between 320 pesos to 1,540 pesos. Next slide, please. For our pasta, mac and cheese, and penne and gorgonzola. Sizes are ranged between solo to large and prices are ranged between 290 pesos to 1,350 pesos. Next slide, please. If you want to order in the Sobra Comfort Food restaurant, here are the ways that you can order. Head over to the Sobra Comfort Food website, select the dishes you want to order, choose between pick up or delivery, pay conveniently through any of the safe integrated payment methods, and your order is confirmed. Expect updates via text or email. Next slide, please. Also, if you want to crave for something Korean, Kuya Korea restaurant is here. The menus are for the rice bowls, beef bibimbap, beef bulgogi, pork samgyup, and K-pop chicken. Prices range between 195 to 220 pesos. For the boneless popcorn chicken, sizes are ranged between half to whole. Prices are ranged between 235 to 435 pesos. Flavors of gochu, ganjang, chicken, and K buffalo. So if you want to order there, please check the Kuya Korea website for your orders as well. Next slide, please. Also, on this Thursday, March 24, 2022, at 3 p.m. to 5 p.m., the LaSalle College of St. Benilde, in collaboration with the Office of the Vice President for Lasallian Mission is Student Life, the Benilde Center for Inclusive Education, the Benilde Student Envoys, and Best Buddies Benilde will have a webinar on gender inclusion and safe spaces. The speakers are Attorney Cheyenne and Miss Amber. The event will be done at 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. via Zoom. The event is free and there will be sign language interpreters for the deaf and or the hard of hearing. If you want to join, please check the Center for Inclusive Education Facebook page for the registration form. Next slide, please. Lastly, follow HNI Inclusion Philippines on our social media pages and its digital platforms as well. It would be appreciated for you guys to do this as early as now. Follow us on Facebook, HNI Inclusion PH, InkluRadio, InkluSports, InkluNihan, InkluGaming, and the online shop. Instagram, Hansen Inclusion PH. Twitter, HNI Pilipinas. Kumu, HNI Philippines. And subscribe to the Hansen Inclusion Philippines YouTube channel. So guys, for those who did this, thank you very much as well. Next slide, please. Now is the time for our greetings from Sir Mark Vitita to L. Jane Florese, Tropa PWD Sweet and Spicy, Palmera Boys, Annalyn Lopez, Sayuri Garcia, Jason Delegencia. To Sir Mark Letita, Au Alfonso, Lady Jane Florese, and Eldimira Manio Diaz, good evening to you and thanks for watching. For me, shout outs and greetings to my family, to Hansen Inclusion Philippines, Best Buddies Philippines, Best Buddies Benilde, and other PWD organizations, to my high school and college friends as well. Also, to those who are celebrating their birthdays today, happy birthday and expect the more birthdays to come. To those who are celebrating their anniversaries, happy anniversary as well. And also to those who are watching, it may be a good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you are in the world. I hope you guys are in a good mood. But if not, you may use this time to improve on your mental health and your well-being as well. To those who are watching me on InkluRadio, thank you very much as well. If you missed this episode, it will be premiered on the next day on the Hands in Inclusion Philippines YouTube channel for your viewing pleasure. Next slide, please. Before we wrap up our show for this day, let us have our quote for the day. Next slide, please. Our quote for the day is from Chris Burke. Having Down syndrome is like being born normal. I am just like you, and you are just like me. We are all born in different ways. That is the way I can describe it. I have a normal life. Okay, Sir Mark, can you disable the share screen, please? Thank you. And on cam, please. Okay, so to those who are watching us on InkluRadio, thank you very much as well. And also, sa mga nanonood sa atin sa InkluRadio, maraming salamat po. Okay, that's a wrap for our editorial episode for Monday, March 21, 2022. On behalf of Hansen Inclusion and InkluRadio, I am your host, Carlos Miguel Kanahashi. As your host, together with me is Mark Betita as my technical supervisor. May awa ang Diyos, makakaraos pa tayo. Sama-sama tayong lalaban para sa pangarap, pamilya, at bayan hanggang sa ating tatak para sa One Inclusion Nation. Ngayong ikalima ng anibersaryo ng Hands in Inclusion. Makatotohanan inklusyon, hanggat buhay ang solusyon. Sa HNI, posible. Muli, magandang gabi at pagpalain nawa tayo ng Diyos ng buong may kapal. May the Almighty God bless us all. Pilipinas, God first. HNI, God first. Thank you very much for watching. Have a blessed evening to all and a goodbye for now. We'll see you on Wednesday at the same time. Bye-bye. Thank you, sir, for your time. Thank you, Sir Mark.